Hi guys, Jim here and welcome back to another video on Jim's Reptile Jungle. Today it is time to move out some invertebrates that have been in quarantine for a while now. There are a couple Madagascar hissing cockroaches. What I mostly do with the majority of my animals, no matter what it is I like to quarantine them outside of the main animal sheds, just so I'm not bringing in any pathogens or parasites into the main collection. So these hissing cockroaches I've actually had for almost a year now. They've just been kept in this acrylic box that I'll show you in a minute, but it has become rather, well, dirty, I'm afraid, because it's a little bit too small for them, and it's a temporary sort of plastic thing with some paper towel, and they will be going into a newer, more display case within the shed. These will not be for food. These will be mainly just for display animals. However, if they do breed, the babies most likely will become food. They have already bred, which you will see in a minute, which is an issue for me because I don't know where I'm going to put these babies. I might just introduce them into different enclosures and let them become some form of cleanup crew. If they're in the sheds and they have been quarantined, there isn't much of an issue. They can't survive in UK climates anyway. However, it is very difficult to get out of the shed. It is fully insulated and sealed twice with wood paneling. So yeah, there's very minimal escape possibilities. So yeah, we'll see what we do. So I'm gonna give you a quick look at the hissers, then we're gonna pop them in their enclosure, and then I will show you around some of the other invertebrates that I have in the shed at the moment. Okay, so here is their plastic or acrylic container that I've been housing them in. I did just remove the lid, just because I was expecting the babies to be quite difficult to control, and I have actually lost quite a few of them. They've all sort of scattered quickly, but as you can see, this is just a quarantine sort of plastic thing that did them quite well for the time. Just chuck some food in for them every once in a while and use this sort of egg crate. But you can see these sort of babies here. They're at this sort of stage, they almost look more like dubia roach babies, really. However, they do climb acrylic very well, and you can see a load more there, and then loads of babies there. But then we have got the adults kicking around down here as well. We do have a mixture of males and females, hence the babies. So yes, so I'm going to pop the adults in here now, and see how they get on in their new enclosure. Alright, so it's a bit dark in this area of the room, which will benefit the roaches, to be honest. So I'm going to use the flash. But the first one in is going to be this rather plump female. You can tell it's a female because of the lack of horns on the front, as well as that sort of more tubular shape. She is full of little babies. So there we go. In you go, girly girl. Oh, not the most graceful of entrances, but there she is. This is a Exoterra 12x12x18. With a bit of cork bark in the middle, and then one of those backgrounds that they can get behind as well. I've used a bit of sphagnum moss on the bottom, as well as a soil substrate for them to burrow in. But let's add some more. Alright, so I've got the egg crate here. If some babies go in, I'm not too fussed. But I find these guys are really, really cool. I've always liked hissing roaches. And I think they're really good for kids to sort of get to know invertebrates because of their large size and handleability, even though these ones can be a bit of a pain right now. I've got babies crawling up my leg. There we go, there's another one, enjoying the cork bark. This cork bark's actually got some moss on it, that's quite nice. And they're probably not going to enjoy the flashlight, so I'm just going to quickly chuck these guys in here. Come on, guys. Oh, and this is an example of a young male. The males do get larger than this, but you can see well, if you stay still here, oh, you can kind of see the horns. Oh, sorry, fella. He does not like the flash. I don't blame him. Oh, and we're back where we started. Well, you can kind of see the sort of bumps on his head there. Some males have a lot more pronounced ones than that, but these are the ones that I got. I don't actually know where he went. Did he go on the floor? Yeah, he's down there. So no doubt they'll dig into the substrate. They're very similar care to, say, the death-head cockroaches. They are pretty much a ground-dwelling species, I believe. Oh, alright, there she goes. And then some of the babies, they're going everywhere. In goes another two. And I did chuck a load of babies in there as well. Which will no doubt get out of this Exoterra, because the cracks on the sides of the doors tend to let them out. But there's a nice looking one there. Alright, and this is the last adult one. I believe this might be another female, but I'm not too sure. But this is the darker one, so it might be going into molt soon. But you can kind of see they have tucked in heads there. Yeah, there you go. They're rather pretty animals. Alright, there she goes. There we are. Okay, so that's the enclosure. And I've got some romaine lettuce here that I washed, that I'll just plonk in there for them to get some nice water, as well as some food as well. There we go. I know they'll enjoy that. So, considering I basically let a load of these babies go accidentally, I think I might chuck the rest in with the Bosque. He probably won't eat most of them because they are quite small, but it will give him something to look at, and he is actually somewhat interested in them, even though they are quite bite-sized. And it sort of gives the insects a fair chance, really. So I'm just going to shake them out here, as many as I can. Oh, no, don't eat them all in the jar, buddy. There we go. Alright, so I still have a load in here. So I might just leave them sideways for him to see in, and they should hopefully leave there, hey? But it is getting dark, so the lights will be going off soon anyway, so it'll give the roaches a chance. There we go, so he's going to be doing that. And let's have a look at some of the other inverts in the room. Okay, so one of the invertebrates that is somewhat new to the shed are these three African millipedes here. Now these guys are actually housed in with my two white tree frogs, which you can see one of them just up there and the other one's just there. And these guys have actually been loving this enclosure. This is a 90 by 90 Exoterra tool, and you can see just they are rather large. They do have a water dish in there, obviously, for the frogs. I've not found any issues with them with the water. I've seen them go through it. I think it's one of those things where as long as you offer them somewhat of a shallowish way and a way for them to get out, like this is gradually sloped, you should be alright. But these guys are really great animals. I just chuck in some leaf litter. They have some wood, and I also chuck in romaine lettuce and some other vegetation for them from time to time. But they essentially will act as somewhat of a cleanup crew, similar to the springtails in here as well. But they actually have been digging around. You can see, although you might not be able to see there's holes and different areas where they go and hide. But these guys are really growing on me. They do climb up to the top here, and you can see there's a Mario beetle here. Climb up all the way to the top, even with the frogs, which is something I wasn't expecting them to do. But they are really, really cool animals that I think a lot of people don't appreciate, or they neglect in some ways, that they don't think about these guys as much. But they are absolutely fantastic as long as you don't stress them out too much. But yes, they are very, very cool animals. Really active. Great for beginners that want something that they can sort of look after, but let them be to their own devices. And to be honest, they make a great cleanup crew for animals that aren't going to eat them. Because these guys, I believe, have got a toxin of some kind if they are ingested by the majority of animals. But yeah, they really are a really cool species. And in here is another, well, I say invertebrate, but this is a mollusk. It is rather dark, so I am having to use the flash again. But this is an animal that I got a while ago as well, that came out of quarantine not too long ago. And this is almost another temporary setup. I will be moving them into a 3-foot enclosure at some point. But down here is a beautiful Achatina marginata ovum, the marginated African land snail, giant African land snail. Very similar to Fulica, however these guys get a tad bigger. I have kept a load of different species of land snails before, including Fulica, Achatina, obviously Achatina marginata ovum, and then a couple of other species that escape me right now. However, the one that I've been drawn to the most has been the marginata ovums. I find they are on the line that they're slightly more difficult to keep than Fulica. However, they're easier to keep than, say, Achatina, which are the giant tigers, which are the largest species. I originally purchased 2, however one of them didn't make it, stressing the reasons why I quarantined most of the animals, or if all the animals, just in case. But this one did make it and is doing well. It is quite shy, but I think it's just acclimating to the temperature of this shed here, which is quite warm. And no doubt it was used to a bit of a cooler environment for a while. You can see with its shell, it has been a bit damaged. This is a wild caught specimen, so I'm not sure of the age. But like I said, it will be moved into a larger enclosure in the future. I just want it to settle down and eat some food and things. It normally does have cuttlefish bones, but there's been a shortage in the area at the moment, so that will have to wait for a bit, but normally it does. And I am feeding on a variety of different things, but I just chucked in the rest of that lettuce I used for the roaches that I just had. So she'll eat that tonight and enjoy that, and that's her. And the last 2 invertebrates that I have in the shed at the moment, in this shed, is the 2 LPs, the Lasiodora parahabana. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't. So up the top here, this very heavily webbed out, I say heavily webbed out for this tarantula it is, enclosure. We have the female, who is back there, who is rather plump, and then down below, who is there, if I can be very careful, this might go horribly wrong, is the male, who is, I believe, sexually mature. There, and as you can see, his leg span and everything. I don't believe my female is sexually mature though, which is a shame, but he's always looking around. He has got sperm webs, but he is a good size, as you can see. I do believe they can get bigger, So he's a rather small, well, I say that, he's a decent size. But there he is, in a rather dirty enclosure. And then there's the female back there, who I'll zoom in on. There she is, there's her butt. If I can get some images of her, I'll post them up in front of me here. But yeah, she is a very cool animal. They both are very cool. I do like my tarantulas, but the difficulty with tarantulas I've found is no matter how many I try and keep, they all end up turning into males or being males. And I'm not gonna invest more money into tarantulas unless they are definite females, because I don't really want to breed tarantulas, but I do want to have a long-lasting animal, so I feel the females are the best way to go for that. You might notice there isn't a water dish here. That's mainly because maintenance wise with these guys, they just sort of fill their water dish up with soil. So what I do whenever I do my sprays with the animals, which is normally once or twice a day, depending on the temperatures, I go around and just sprinkle a water in one of the corners, and they come over and have a drink from that if they really want to. But yeah, they do quite well. So that is the video on all the invertebrates I have in this shed at the moment, except isopods and springtails and different bits and bobs like that. I hope you did find this a bit interesting. It's not something I normally feature on the channel, mainly because well, the larger things sort of take the limelight with the care and everything. But the inverts are as equally as interesting, if not more in some cases. I will be doing some more videos on some of the inverts in the future. I do want to sort of almost exhibit some more of the feeder insects, things similar to the African land snails and the hissing roaches. I'll probably get some dubias in a display case, and other things like that. I am looking at getting some more scorpions. I don't know if you've seen past videos back a couple years ago, but I did have a decent amount of scorpions in the past, and it's something I wanted to take a break from temporarily, just so I can get that feeling back for scorpions, and I think that is coming back. I do miss those. Mantids are another thing I'm tempted by, as well as centipedes. However, mantises don't live that long, and I don't like, similar to the male tarantulas, I don't want to get attached or invested in an animal that I don't have that long with. But we will see. I mean, centipedes are always great. I've never had success with them though. Yes, so I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please consider liking the video. If you didn't like the video, please tell me with a dislike as well. If you have any questions about anything you've seen in the video, or anything you want to know about, maybe what's in this enclosure here or any of the other animals in the room, please leave a comment down below. And if you want to keep up to date with everything I do on the channel, please click that subscribe button and ding the bell icon so you get notified whenever I do upload. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode of Jim's Reptile Jungle.